Welcome to the Soul Tribe Podcast. The Soul Tribe Podcast was created to help you navigate through the world of spirituality, wellness, and self-development in an easy, grounded, and relatable way. We break down everything from the Akashic Records, manifesting, spirituality, and so much more. We want to help expand your boundaries and bring the spiritual world to you in a fun and easy way. Get ready to be inspired with tips, tools, and easy to digest information. Let's do this.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Soul Tribe Podcast. We are doing an episode with Lorena today, and we're going to exclusively speak about your soul, your soul's personality, and then you as a human and your personality as a human. So we're going to kind of talk about why I'm separating those two things, what's the difference, and we're just going to get into kind of some of those details. But I want to bring up, before we start talking about it, why we decided to do this podcast episode, this subject. And that's because we find that when we do Akashic Records readings for people, that it seems, and I think I remember thinking the same thing, actually, that your personality is like your soul.
Yeah,
so,
I did.
Right?
I thought the same too. Yeah, but it's totally not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes there could be coincidences, right? But it's a very different feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, there could be coincidences. But the idea is that your soul has a personality when it's not incarnated, and that all of its lifetimes will have a personality that is defined for that lifetime for a reason, which we're going to be getting into that, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. But the
I already have like 10 stories.
The reason why we're talking about this today is so that people understand, like, don't look for your soul to be the same person as you. Don't think that your soul is the same person as you. And if you're possibly getting a reading from Lorena and I, or you're getting a dual reading from both of us, know that if we're referring to aspects of your soul, they don't have to match with who you are today and now.
And I think a good explanation to that, so people can kind of wrap their head around that idea, is that you have to remember that your soul has incarnated into the specific body with a specific personality. You've chosen your family, you've chosen certain lessons that you need to learn here. And in order for you to fulfill that in this life, you need to make sure that you have these things line up. So it could be the personality that you have here will help you obtain that wisdom that you need through learning a lesson, but only through that personality can you live that out. Like for me, for example, I'll give you a great example. It's, you know, that personality that I think that comes a lot with my astrology, right? Of very like structured with things, and I have a hard time sometimes getting into creative flow, but at the same time, you know, that whole idea of like trying to please other people and trying to like be so structured in that way that I forget myself. And then I have to always remember and learn to bring myself back to myself. And that's part of my personality, but that's part of the lesson I need to learn in this life of, you know, in order to be fully free and happy, I need to be able to live for myself and not have to be pleasing people all the time, and really truly accept myself for who I am. So that personality will always play, and I feel like that's so true, will always play such a huge role in the lessons you learn in this life.
Yeah. But sometimes your character trait can actually be in favor of carrying you. Instead of being the lesson, it can be in favor of carrying you towards. In that case, that's my example, which is different from yours. And I can't. And the first thing that comes to mind is, first of all, I'm Sagittarius, right? I like freedom. I like I don't overly think things. Like, you don't see me overly planning. I'm like, I feel it, I know it, I do it, I'm done.
We're complete opposites.
Yeah. And then at the same time, numerology-wise, my main number 5, is adventure, and it's like rings really well also with that Sagittarius side of me and things like that. But then when I got a reading from Patricia, an astrology reading from Patricia, because you're talking about, your character references that come attached to the astrology as well, it comes through that my soul decided, like, I've had so many lifetimes with so much responsibility, I'm kind of cutting back on this one and taking a bit of a break, and I'm letting myself kind of I'm going to do things, of course, but I'm going to have, I don't have that much responsibility. And so now you can see why my soul goes, I got to be Sagittarius for that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's the only way. I'm not going to overtake on too much responsibility. I'm going to be a little bit lighter on things. And so it's possible that your personality was chosen either to help you gain knowledge, so it's going to go like be your extreme teacher, or it's here to help you push, to help you flow towards what you're here to do. So obviously every situation is going to be different.
Yeah, so it can be like in the positive or the negative, if that's what you mean. Like it could be a positive trait that you have that, which is also like very subjective, because what's positive to me might be negative to somebody else. You know what I mean? But there's certain things that we can all kind of consider positive. But for sure, I think it doesn't matter what way it goes. Whatever characteristic you have today is going to help you achieve something that you need to in this life. Be it a struggle, be it, something positive.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm thinking about how this comes together so people understand. This is all in your contract, right? So if we were to grab your soul contract's going to say, I want to have these astrological signs, so I need to be born around these dates, right? I want to have, you're going to pick the parents as well in the contract, and we've done an episode all about the contract. But what's in there that we want to talk about mostly is the character traits. The soul says, I want female or male. Like, that's one of the bigger options. Do I want female body or do I want a male body? Why do I want it? Because the male is going to help me be more masculine and more confirm myself, or be a bigger manifester, whatever it is that they need to learn. Feminine, okay, I need to be feminine energy this one because I want to be more on the intuitive side. It's going to help me down this path and that path. And being feminine, I'll be able to have the experience of having, for example, children that I haven't had or I need to have. So it's going to choose the body to help it, and then it's going to pick literally the character traits that it needs to, that's going to help it with that path. And so what your soul's doing is it's picking, and I think the best way to look at this is, the theme that we should stick with for the rest of the episode is, it's the movie that is your current life. So your soul's picking the actor it's going to play in that movie. Mm-hmm. Right? Because it's just acting it out. It has this predetermined personality, and that predetermined personality is the character that it's going to play, which means that it's highly probable that your soul has this X personality, and the actor you're playing currently right now in this lifetime has this Y personality, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good way of explaining it, I think, because I think when we think about the soul, we don't realize, like for me, the moment it kind of clicked for me, like fully clicked, was when we were in the hypnosis, the last class in the soul empowering hypnosis with Courtney. And we did a group session where she guided every one of us to connect with our soul. And it was amazing. And we all channeled our soul, and I got a name, and because I'd never gotten a name, which was really cool. But also I felt, and I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, I felt her power, like my soul's power, and how much of a warrior she was. Like that was the whole theme of kind of like the channeling that we were all doing. And I just felt that, and I try to embody that sometimes when I'm like connecting spiritually. I'm like just feeling, I feel that sometimes, but I know that's not my personality here, really. I'm very much more laid back. I'm much more like about, I'm very easygoing in that sense, right? So that's not the same. And that's when it kind of clicked for me. I'm like, oh, wow, my soul feels so different, like the power and the energy from it. Yeah. And it kind of came through to me like a personality, I guess, but it was really just an energy, Yeah.
You're still going to pick up, before we carry on, I want to make sure people also understand that just because your personality isn't the same as your soul doesn't mean you're not going to pick up on things that you vibe with, because she or he, because the energy of the soul could either want to refer to like feminine or masculine, but he or she is interested in working on or doing on the other side, you might still somehow tap into that. And it might be something that you still carry as an ability, as an interest, as a passion. So it doesn't, just because you have a different personality and soul doesn't mean that you don't carry any traits from your soul. And so a good example of that is the episode we did, or I talked about my hypnosis session with Courtney, where she's in the library and she's reading books. And like, if you look at me, I always want to tap into the library. I love reading books. So there's like a bunch of things that you vibe with. Like, oh, I'm into code. Apparently she's working with light code on the other side. So these are the things that I'm interested in, because it's like a subconscious thing. You're kind of tapping into it and you realize it's a passion. You don't know why it's a passion, but you just know it is. So that could be happening for some of the people that are listening right now. Just because their personality is different doesn't mean that you don't tap into anything that has to do with or vibes with your soul as well.
And I think that comes through a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times through our desires and our passions, like it just feels like you're going to feel it more. You're going to resonate with it more if it connects with your soul. And it's going to come through. Like, you're not going to be like, wow, I don't know why I like this so much. I don't get it. Like, it just feels right. Yeah. You don't really question it.
It's funny, the example
wait, something I was going to say.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say something. Wait. So I think with connecting with your soul as well, don't try to think of it as like putting names to what your soul feels like. Because I know a lot of the people that listen might already be light workers. They might already be connecting with their soul. They might be connecting with their masters or guides. So to me, it's like, don't try to put a name to the person. Like, feel the energy of your soul, and that can give you so much more indication as to what it's doing, like what it feels like, and how that could potentially connect with you in this life. Because I think that's cool to figure that out and to find that out.
Yeah, but I think you're saying that because you're an empath. I'm a person that visualizes. I don't feel it. I don't know what my feel soul is like. Even when I was under, I did hypnosis with Courtney. I couldn't feel with her energy. Not hers. No, I couldn't. I was aware of her. I could clearly see what she was up to. I could clearly interact in that way, but I don't feel. So I just want to make sure, like, if people are listening and they're like, well, I don't feel anything. Don't feel bad.
It's weird, but sometimes to me, it's like, you get used to the channel that you are.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't get words and so I get tons of words, I get phrases, I see things. But sometimes it's weird, like, the feelings are so strong when I channel that I just resonate with it so much. And maybe I'll say that too much sometimes, and people, like, whatever kind of channeler you are, just respect that, I guess I want to say. Yeah.
Yeah, cause I know a lot of people struggle. I've had a lot of sessions with people that talk about it. Like, I've had Akashic Records reading with individuals whom are part of what the questions are is, I can't feel anything. Like, I'm trying to connect. That's why I want to make sure they don't feel bad when you're saying that, because they might not feel anything. I don't feel anything. I don't. And I do a lot more meditation than you do. I feel vibrations coming into my body because I'm receiving frequency and things, but I'm not going to feel her energy.
Yeah. I just feel it at a channeling level, right? When I receive any information, I'm feeling it. I feel.
Yeah, I don't at
That's
all.
what I mean. That's weird. It's so interesting how we're so different, right?
We're even different at channelmen.
Yeah, that's really cool. But that's respect who you are, right? Respect how that's coming through. And then we always say that in our courses, like, don't try to channel or be like somebody else. Like, you are your own channel. You have to figure out how that works and just tap into that and just practice.
Yeah, and the only way you figure that out is by practicing, right?
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so we kind of determined, and we've made sure that people understand that those two personalities don't have to be the same. Can be the same, but don't have to be the same. And then also the soul's like picking a brain. Like, it already kind of knows. The body comes with a certain brain, so like knows. And the masters were, before I interrupted you, the masters were giving me an example of a really delicate, a very like sensitive soul, a very highly intuitive and wants to kind of work with melody. They're telling me, I guess there's souls that work with melody, with like tones of music and melody.
Yeah.
So this is a good example of a soul who just feels everything. And so by feeling, that soul understands everything, right? But then they're giving me an example of a true situation of someone incarnated on Earth at some point or incarnated now. And they're saying to me, this soul that that's a tuner, chose a body that had to go through a kind of set of, if you want to call it, anger management. Mm-hmm. So it's like the soul went through a lot of, it was planned for the soul to go and get into this body where this body had a lot of issues with dealing with rage and anger and controlling the anger. This was on purpose. So the soul is a temperamental. The soul picked a temperamental person. So if you see this person walking down the street tomorrow, you say, "Dude, that guy's got issues, man. Like, go to what's it called? Anger management or something, right?" But if you were to go deep in there, and you'd be able to separate that guy's body from his soul, you'd see that the soul is actually a really, really calm, really. They kept saying serene and calm. Like, it's a really calm soul. So the soul picked that experience. He said, well, if I'm going to understand harmony, I got to understand anger, right? It's its own harmony in itself now the soul's kind of giving it to me, the communication. I got to understand both types of melodies, right? And so they'll sign up for a body that's complicated, a mind that's complicated, a mindset that's complicated. And the idea is experience that. Sometimes the plan is to experience it and hopefully find the light at the end of the tunnel and progress, because I figured out a way how to make an angry mind, because it's the chemicals inside that kind of come against the whole set of that lifetime. So it's like I managed to find the light in the end of the tunnel and find a balance and control that anger. And that's a very expansive experience for the soul. So there's many reasons why your soul picks a certain personality type, if that makes sense.
That kind of brought me to thinking how a lot of times, especially I think is, us incarnating on Earth as humans, like actual humans, and not some other type of being in another dimension. That concept of a lot of us, and this is just coming through now through my Akashic records, of us coming with these specific human brains where we need to come and dominate our brain, dominate the thoughts that come into our head to be able to become stronger. Because I think that is a huge struggle as humans. And a lot of us don't recognize, obviously we're talking about the ego, right? That ego is holding us back from connecting spiritually in different ways. So a lot of us have come to experience that, and that's why we're incarnated as humans and not something else. Because even when we had the episode with V, it's kind of bringing me back to that episode where she was talking about, was it Zalo, and how they, in that dimension they don't have a government like we do, but they also don't. I think it was, I don't know, maybe I'm confusing something, but it's something about not thinking like we do. Yeah, okay, I thought so.
Yeah, it is.
Thinking like we do, and it's very different. It's like, I mean, there's other dimensions where they don't even talk; they telepathically communicate, right? Like, it's so different.
If I had to put Zalo in a box, I'd put him in that box of. It's highly probable he's just telepathically communicating with his other.
Possibly, yeah. I don't know if that was clear to me from what she said, but yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Which is really, to me, fascinating, because the dynamic here, and that goes along with our personalities, right? Of having to dominate our thoughts, also our emotions, our physical body. And there's like all these three elements that we need to balance out. And that all, like we said, we choose those. We choose those when we come here.
Yeah.
And our brain is part of that personality, because it's going to help us bring certain thoughts forward and make us go down the path that we need to go down in this life, and live the struggles, or live the amazingness of this life that we need to. Yeah.
What you were just saying reminded me of not random. I mean, it reminded me of when I was 12 or 13, and I was in middle school, and we were in New York, and I had just gotten my library card, like the local library where we were living. And I asked Mom, like, I got out of school. I could have gone home to do nothing, right? Like watch TV like everybody else or something. And I said, Mom, can you take me to the library, please?
I think I remember that.
And she took me to the library, and I checked out 2 books. And one was about ghosts, and the other was about how to learn to do telepathic communications.
Really?
I remember that.
Well, I remember you were obsessed with those shows on TV that were like people like dealing with spirits and stuff in the houses. Like when a spirit would be in a house. Yeah, I think you are too.
That hasn't changed. Yeah. No.
But I remember that from a young age. That's kind of interesting.
If you go to like the TV here at the house, You'll know who recorded what. Well, that's typical for men and women. You always know who recorded what, right? Yeah. So Sanders, all those movies like Born Supremacy 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like all the 20 million Supremacy ones, right? Like Oceans, whatever this up until
Ocean's
12.
11 and stuff.
Yeah, all those kind of movies. And then you go and you see Paranormal, Caught on Camera. Oh, that's Lucia's. That was my crystal that just fell. Sorry.
Oh no, what crystal is it?
It's my tiger eye ball. That's why you hear it moving. Oops. Lately,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like going all over the place.
Yeah. Lately, I've been holding it in my hand when I'm channeling.
Tiger eye. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, look, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, it does look like a tiger eye.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, like you can tell from the TV who recorded what. My stuff is like, or I'll have recorded paranormal caught on camera. That, and I'll have recorded things like bargain beach hunting, bargain beach hunting. I forgot the name of the show. I love that show. It's like families that want to buy like their beach house family vacation homes.
Oh, I've heard of that.
And they go all around the world, so they'll be like in Ecuador or Mexico, and like I like that because they're around all over the place, and they just find their like vacation home for the family. I don't know. It's like getting out in Corona times or something.
Yeah, it's like you live through these shows you watch right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
So, yeah.
But that's also part of your personality, right? Like you being interested in those things has brought you, well, also your dream premonitions and all that, but there's a correlation between that. Like you're already interested in all that stuff.
Do you remember the first book I ever bought? I remember that now. How to Interpret Your Dreams.
Yes, I remember that book. We used to read through it, and I'm like, "Oh, last night I had a dream with a snake."
Okay, snake. What does snake mean? I remember.
I was the worst because I was like, I don't remember anything, so you can't look up anything in that book for me. That's
pretty
bad.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, what were you? Did you go to the library and check anything out? That was not school related, of course.
No, I don't know. No. I was never a big reader.
You know what's funny?
I am more now.
You would think that I was like the rebel child when we were around that age, but you were the rebel one at that age. I was like the dorkier one. And then we moved to Uruguay, and shit hit the fan, and I got mad because they made me move, and that's when I became the rebel.
I don't know. I was always still...
You threw a party at the house, invited the whole school, and they were doing a food party, Lorena. What's it called? Food fight.
Food fight, yeah.
And then I went into my bedroom.
It wasn't me doing that, right? Like I just wanted people to come over. It was a birthday.
But yeah, that's being a rebel in a way. You wanted everybody invited because that was your
No, that's my side of wanting to please everybody, right?
Oh,
and be friends with everybody. That's not.
I was just mad.
Their own attitude.
I was using bras for the first time, and I walked into the room, and I'm like 12. These guys, were you 14 at the time? 13, 14?
Yeah, like a year,
Some
like
of the
2 years
guys there
older.
Were like 15. I was like 12, like just growing, just growing out things for the first time. And I had bought like a training bra, one or two. Mom had taken me to the mall, and I walk in like my bedroom, and these guys were like putting them on and laughing at each other and throwing it, and I was like mortified.
So ridiculous.
Mortified.
It was the craziest part. Like I don't even want to get into it. I felt bad. I still feel bad for that. Like,
okay, let's not talk about it if it's making you feel bad.
Yeah, let's get back into the episode because we're going all over the place now. Okay, so like you were saying, the personalities sometimes can coincide. Like for your human personality can sometimes have some kind of similarity with your soul, right?
Yeah.
But not necessarily. And a lot of times, and I felt that through readings myself on other people, that the energy that comes through the person's soul it just feels so different. And for example, I had a reading the other day where I could feel the person's soul and how confident and how much they wanted freedom and how they were living out the complete opposite in this life because they needed to struggle through whatever they needed to struggle to and like fight for their freedom. So that felt so interesting. But just seeing that and feeling that was like, it shows you the two sides of it and how there's a reason we want and we feel that need, but struggle through it because we need to learn a lesson,
Yeah, I understand that. And it's super interesting because from our side as channelers, we get to connect to the person's Akashic records. And I know you feel the soul, and we both know now that I see like where everybody's standing, like where's the master standing, where's the guide, where's the soul, and I see like if the soul wants to take over the reading, I'll see them come forward, and they'll be here, right? It's almost like they're right in front of my face, like on the right side. It feels like they're right here sometimes. I'll see them like decide to take a step back, and they're relaxing. Like I can see how, like I can see that, whereas you can feel it. So, but it's cool. You get the opportunity to kind of
sense
the way their soul is.
It's powerful. I
can say a handful of times I found myself saying to the person, oh, you are just like your soul. Like you are literally just like your soul. So it's I mean, in 12 years, a handful of times, imagine that's how much our souls do not plan to be who they really are, because they're playing that actor in that role that is the movie of your life right now. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's also, I mean, look at it this way. If not, how would it function? How would you be able to have all these different past lives and be all these different people that accomplish all these different things? You couldn't have done that keeping the same attitude, the same personality, the same desires, the same wishes, the same wants, right?
Or the same personality. Just that. Just that. If you take everything else away.
So you once talked about a past life where you were a spy, right?
So I got that through a reading. One of my first readings I got from somebody else, and how I was this woman in World War I or II, I don't remember, and I was a spy, but I was infiltrated on the other side, and I fell in love with somebody on that other side. And I don't remember what it related to, what she was telling me, but I was like, wow, really interesting. And that kind of like resonated in some way. It was really weird. And I don't remember why it came up now, though.
Now we have Lorena, who avoids conflict as much as possible. She would never go to be a spy, no matter who the team was, right?
Oh, I'd be too nervous.
You'd be too nervous, but also that's conflict. That's possible conflict. You're putting yourself in the middle of a situation that's all the time conflict, because you're just spying on. You're pretending to be someone that you're really not to spy on, right? So there's a good example of two totally different personalities your soul chose to play out those roles of experiences in those movies.
Yeah, and I don't think this person in this other life meant to fall in love with the enemy. You know what I mean? It just happened, I guess. So I guess that there was a lesson in that for sure. I don't remember what it was, but I think, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I do believe that a lot of things I have to learn today are thanks to my personality. For sure. Like, I don't see how I could have learned to love myself the way I do today if I had the whole complete contrast of being in this hole and in this ditch of like completely feeling lost, you know?
Yeah. And, I mean, in my case, I know that a lot of what I'm here to do is to make up for, let's say, dreadful things my soul did in other movies. I'm going to call it movies. Lifetimes, movies, other life incarnations. I know that Lucia would never kill somebody. Well, not unless I had to protect myself. I mean,
yeah, that's very different though.
Yeah, that's different. It's for protection. Like if someone was coming at me, okay, fine, I'm going to fight back. But if not, you would never see me even think about it. No, I wouldn't think about it. It wouldn't be possible for me to do that.
Yeah.
Yet apparently
there's people in this life that are killers. They're serial killers, right?
That's why the Akashic records always say, and I love this because this is the hardest part about us, individuals who have brains where we want to be light workers and we want to, we want the world to be a good place. It's really hard to remember this, but our souls were incarnated once in a complicated body, and this is like the anger management thing they were talking about. Incarnated in a body that had those psychological issues that could have led them to be serial killers, psychopaths, or whatever, right? So that's why the Akashic records always say, don't judge, because you're judging yourself. Because your soul once did that thing that you're looking at and hating.
so true.
Those are
it's
actors.
really hard, especially at the beginning of your journey, to understand that. And like anything, and we talk about this in the course, and it's a big part of what we kind of guide people through. It's like, just because you're a light worker or you're a channeler or you're spiritual or you're super connected to source and the universe doesn't mean you're not going to have these moments of struggle and these moments of feeling disconnected. Like, you're in traffic, someone pisses you off and you just want to give them the finger. Like, just because you're spiritual, you're still going to maybe have the urge to do that one day because you're really upset. And that's okay. That doesn't mean you're less spiritual. It's just part of your story here, right?
Yeah.
Like, we have to always come back to that energy of feeling connected.
Oh my God, if there's somebody, an example of I'm able to connect and receive all these amazing messages, I always say, I love as hard as I fight. I fight as hard as I love. Like, if I love, like, wow, I love. And if I fight, like, I'm like, oh, get out of my face. So, like, just because you're a light worker, just because you're able to channel and help people out, because I love helping people out and I want to continue to do it. And it's something that feels so good to do. Like, and it's obviously it's part of what I'm here to do. But I also have my moments where I get really angry, and like, if anybody that knows me personally knows, I will tell you to F off in 2 seconds. Like, I have no problem.
Yeah.
I have no problem doing that. And that's my duality.
Yeah.
That's my duality.
Now,
but
that's your cat right there.
That Buddha wants attention, and he just jumped up on the table, and like most cats do. No, actually, cats usually don't knock things over.
Yes, they do.
They're pretty
They're
good
bad.
at like going between things and not knocking anything. You go, how did he just do that?
Oh my
Right?
God. Our parents' cat, like, she knocks stuff over all the time.
Does she? I don't
She's
remember
so bad. Yeah, she'll like do her little paw thing. It's so cute. She'll knock stuff
no,
over.
that's cats are jerks.
No, but she's playing.
No, but like, have you ever seen like the pictures or the memes of like cats are jerks?
Like
the videos.
They're like a thug.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was bringing off. You're off talking because of Buddha. No, but I was gonna say that like that's a person. That's a really good personality trait actually for a light worker to have. You don't have to be nice and kind all the time. You don't have to take shit just because you're a light worker. And I remember once we had gotten together with a bunch of readers that we had studied together, and we were getting together and talking about it, and we started talking about how like one of the conversations was that actually souls consider it super important to not take these things in life that they don't have to take. Like, that's considered being a warrior. Like, I have my boundaries, I have my limits, don't pass these. So they will give us personalities that will not allow people to overstep them, because they have this ability, they have this kindness, or they can do this one thing amazingly and help you out. But hey, don't overstep your boundary, because I'm a warrior as well. All light workers are warriors. If your soul is a light worker in this lifetime, it signed up for a storm. It signed up for like chaos. It signed up for like the battle of light and dark. So there is no other option that your soul is in fact a warrior.
And I got this actually through a reading the other day with somebody where boundaries was a big thing in the reading, right? But then they were saying something, like the masters and guides were saying something about how as a light worker or energy worker or whatever you want to call yourself, boundaries are the most important thing. And what is that? That's protecting your energy, right? Yeah. That's someone not sucking your energy. And we always talk about that all the time. Like, you work so hard to raise your vibration. You work so hard to take care of yourself. And that goes to like the post I just put up just a little while ago, which obviously will be weeks or the previous week for you guys. It's like time traveling with podcasting. It's really weird. How the aspect also of food, right? Like, you need to take care of your body. There's the 3 levels, like emotional, physical, and spiritual. And all that's tied together. So we all need to realize that we are all here to put up boundaries as light workers. Like, that is part of our journey, and we need to take care of ourselves. And the boundaries sometimes could be, like, I need to like cut out these foods because they don't make me feel good. Like, when we became readers, we stopped drinking so much alcohol. or we're more conscious of it now because that affects how we channel and that brings our vibration down. Or, certain foods, I haven't been really good with food, but I'm trying to get back on track. But, like you want to put good, nutritious food into your body because that's going to raise your vibration. And that in turn affects you as a channeler, as a channel, and will help you kind of align more with your purpose.
Yeah.
And your personality the same. There's certain things about your personality that's going to help you, like me as my personality is an empath, affects how I am as a channel. You know what I mean? And the same thing with you. So I think someone might resonate with that message.
Yeah.
But we all need to put up boundaries. And that's something that we all, in some way or another, have struggled in this life somehow with somebody, maybe not all the time, maybe it's not something repetitive, but that's something we all need to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's true, like being readers, I'm usually reading from Monday to Friday. I usually have booked Monday to Friday readings. So that means that Sunday I can't drink because I have a reading for Monday, right? If I know that I'm planning to do something on the weekend, which involves Sunday, and I might have a glass of wine, then I don't book for Monday, right? Yeah. And then Monday I don't drink, and I have my first reading of the week for Tuesday. So yeah, being a reader actually makes you think about. I don't want to say think about. Makes you be more active about what you're putting into your system. It's true, but it's all for the benefit of the reading, right? It's not like, and you enjoy it because you get to help someone even more. By you doing that, your reading
fulfills you more than having. Yeah. It feels much better to do that than have a glass of wine. Or,
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. And then you think about your sleep. You think about all these things. Like, it's really cool. I wish I could turn that switch with food, like with sugar and all these things. Like, I'd cut out sugar at the beginning of the year, and now I'm just like struggling with that. I think it's also anxiety and just feeling like, the year's ending. And we're going to do a whole episode on the numerology for 2021. We're already going to plan that out. It's going to be super cool. Because, the year's ending. It's been a crazy year, and I think, it's like the collective that we were talking about, too. We all feel that.
It feels like yesterday it was November, and we were channeling what was coming for 2020. It literally feels like yesterday.
It does, doesn't it? It's so crazy. I don't know what's going to happen in 2021, but I do know right now, October and November are going to be 2 months that I won't even say part of December as well, like that are just going to be energetically really crazy. So we just need to hang in there, like really just give ourselves time, give ourselves patience, and just really take care of ourselves. If that's getting more sleep, it's eating right food, if that's channeling more because it helps you connect to source, do it. Like there's a lot of craziness out there right now. And I did a little story yesterday as well about that because I felt this message come through, and it kept coming through all week, and then I lost it, and it came back, and then I lost it, and then I'm like, I have to do a story now because if I don't, it's going to go away again and I'm going to forget it. And it was this thing of like, trust the timing of your life, trust everything that's happening right now, and know that it's supposed to be here. Because I think a lot of us are starting to I feel like dwindle, our energy's dwindling at moments, and like we're just losing hope sometimes. And they don't want us to lose hope. They want us to keep pushing forward, but also trust that sometimes you're going to have these lows and it's going to be okay. You're going to get through it, but only through trust. Because if you don't trust, then you're just going to throw in the towel and you're going to be like, I'm done. Like, be it your spiritual practice or be it taking care of yourself or whatever that is. It's not supposed to be easy right now.
Yeah. I mean, they said it, I don't remember what episode it was, but they said that October, it was like the middle of September maybe that they had said
I think so.
The next few months coming was going to be complicated, and especially October was going to be like heavy. So there's quite a few of us feeling it. I myself am feeling it. I'm and you know very well that I'm working through a lot of health stuff, and it's not, I don't have COVID or anything, but I get sick really easily, and these last few months have been, it's like I'm back to being a teenager where I was getting sick all the time. And I know it has a lot to do with the changing frequencies of Earth in itself. And so I have to keep like really well, it's like a really well kept balance of nutrition and minerals and all that stuff that you need, right? I'm trying to keep that because I know that's the only way that I can kind of sustain. And I never knew what it was. And I was actually, today I was like looking into some supplements, which I was like, I'm going to try these out, okay, to see if it helps me. And what I ended up getting, because I was like, why am I still getting sick? I'm eating so healthy. Like, I eat you should, and I put them on Instagram, sometimes pictures. Those big salads that every once in a while I'll take a picture of, I actually eat those every day for lunch. Every day. That's my lunch. Huge salad. It has everything in it, like has kale and spinach and rocket and like 3 different types of salad, and it has tomato and it has pepper and like always has nuts and dried fruits, and I usually put goat cheese on it. You have like 1 egg and then has olive oil and I mean like
what about protein? Like what protein are you having?
Well, I think that they would be considered protein. Isn't it considered the I forgot the name of it. Oh, grounded flax I put on the salad too. That's protein, right?
That's good. Yeah, but I mean I know you don't really eat red
protein,
meat, but
an egg on it's protein.
No, yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, what are you having, like fish and chicken, for example? Because I think protein is important. Like, I remember when I was like not eating any meat at all. Like all I was eating is like vegetable and fruits, and I got the sickest I've ever gotten.
Lorena,
it's like my body was craving the protein. Where
the main dish was meat, and I was still getting sick. It's not protein.
Yeah,
it's definitely not protein.
Asking. Yeah. You should definitely like track your food and see if like what your macros are to see like
I haven't had red meat in 10 years because you know that because if anybody was wondering why, I can tell them I was once asked by the masters to kind of, and it's personal to me, it's my body, and I love how Christo said every body vibes different, and for my body to connect better and become a wider channel for the Akashic Records, I needed to stop eating red meat, because for me, my body, the red meat is so similar to our own flesh that you're actually absorbing a lot of karmic stuff from the cow, and it was dying down, or it wasn't helping my channel expand. And that's a big part of what I'm here to do. So they said, hey, free will, do what you want to do, but know that if you want to take the next step, because I've already studied and became a teacher of Akashic Records. They said, well, if you want to take the next step, keep yourself off of red meat, and that's going to help your channel grow. And so that was about 10 or 11 years ago. I just lost count. It's been more than a decade, definitely. I've lost count.
A long time.
Yeah, but
I mean, nutrition's so important. Yeah, and that's fine. Everybody's different. Like, we're not telling people not to eat meat or be vegan or not vegan. Like, just listen to yourself and figure out what's best for you, I guess. But yeah, your nutrition, I don't know if it's the nutrition that's affecting you, Lou. We don't know, right? Like,
no, I don't know.
I'm sure you'll figure
I know
it
the
out.
Frequencies of the change of the planet, like, and it affects everybody differently. Some people will feel like really tired, like now in October. Some people feel really tired. Some people will just get really stressed out, anger, or be on edge, or depressed, or like for me, it's my body that directly feels it, and it affects my body. And I've already been told this more than once by the masters during channelings. Because when the frequency changes of Earth, your frequency starts changing as well. And it seems like my body is not too great with gradually changing its frequency. It kind of goes haywire or something, right?
And that's where your immune system just gets
This reminds me
up.
that I haven't even told you this story, and I wanted to tell you this story. So you guys are hearing it at the same time as Lorena. What happened to me last night? I levited it off of the bed. No, I'm kidding. No, I was visited by an alien. No, not that either. Last night I was doing my because I didn't do meditation last night. Since I've been doing so many readings for people, I don't do so much meditation because it's like Christo says, you're in the zone for so long that your free time, you don't have to use it so much to try to connect, because that's your job. You're spending hours connecting, right? So I do a mini meditation now, or a mini mindful thing. And I actively went out of my way to connect with my soul, and I spoke to her directly, and I started asking her to send me, and I was asking for specific things. I wanted to work on my health, so I asked her to help me, send me some additional energy to help me work with that, to figure out what I need, and blah, blah, blah. And I was talking to her about a bunch of other stuff. So I called down a bunch of things, right? There's like a list of things I talked to her about. And anybody can do this, by the way, guys. Like anybody can get into a mindful meditative state. You don't have, like Lorena said, you don't have to know the name of your soul. Literally just connect with her or him, if you want to refer to your soul as him. Connect with her or him, and who's best to send you healing energy? Who best to ask to get guidance and assistance than your own soul, right? So ask them whatever you want. So I gave a list of stuff to her. I was being annoying. I was like, I want this, I want that, I want that, I want to help me with this and help me with that, like in a nice way, right? And I felt the energy coming, and it's funny because it's like, it reminds me of what Courtney says when you do the hypnosis with her, when they send a lot of really healing energy, it's like you're still there, but you like fall asleep, but you're actually really receiving. It's like they're sending you so much healing energy that it's almost like you time out for a second, then you come back, right? So that's what ended up happening. I started feeling the energy, and it seems like I kind of timed out and I came back, right? And it was crazy. So then I fell asleep. After that, I was like, oh, I fell asleep. I was like, oh, must have been a lot of like energy because I had fallen asleep feeling it. And then I was like, okay, time to go to sleep. And I went back to sleep. And I have always Windy, my dog, sleeping right next to me. So whatever side of the bed I'm on, she's on the side right next to me, right? So I had Windy right next to me, sleeping as usual, a normal night. And at one point, I wake up, and Lorena, I'm hearing beep, like
really?
It's in my ears, and I'm like, wow, like not that high pitched, but like a little bit more like muffled, but it was like beep, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm receiving it again. I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I'm going to stay here. So I just stayed there, paying attention to the noise, trying to like figure out what it was. And then one of my ears went pop. Like one of my ears totally popped.
Oh no.
And then I started hearing whooshing, whoosh, 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 whoosh. It was like, it felt like blood, like whooshing, or, like if you cover your ears and you hear the whooshing of like your body, your heart's pumping blood. So it's almost like I had covered my ears, but I didn't cover my ears. So one of my ears popped, and then the whooshing started, and then my ears were normal again. And I went, that's so weird. Something's going on right now. Like something's happening right now. I'm like, and this room feels like there's like a lot of activity right now in this room. I'm like, something, and then Windy, and then I fall asleep. I pass out again. I was like thinking about it. I'm like, wow, this is really crazy. Something really going on. I wish I really knew more details. Fell asleep. And then I don't know how long after that I woke up. Windy whimpering and whimpering and whimpering and whimpering. And I went, Windy, what's wrong? And I hear her like swallowing and swallowing. I'm like, oh no, this dog's going to throw up. That was the rest of my night. She woke me up about every 30 to 40 minutes to go throw up and have diarrhea in the backyard.
Oh no. What was wrong with her?
I don't know, because she hadn't eaten anything. She had only had dog food for the whole day. We had like a nice nature walk and stuff, but I didn't see her eat anything. And so I was like, oh no.
Is she okay now?
She's okay now. Yeah, she hasn't gone to the bathroom or vomited today yet, but it was all night long. Like I barely slept. I was like, and it was again.
Do you think maybe she fed off the energy?
I think she must have received the energy, and it's like, I think, I might be wrong, and I haven't asked the records yet, but I think that, when you do like Reiki where you receive healing energy
and it cleanses you
and you get like diarrhea, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't know, detoxing energy or unblocking. Since she's an extension of me, because Wendy's like always with me, she must have received what I was receiving as well. And she must have unclogged stuff. This is my assumption. Oh wait, my categories are open. They're saying yes. Okay. So yeah, there we go. Mystery solved, right? Mystery solved.
Wow, poor Windy.
But like she had thrown up on the couch. One moment she like woke up like to go to the bathroom, and I had to go. And I saw, I guess she had been trying to get me awake, and I wasn't waking up. And I saw the throw up on the floor, and like I was like picking up her throw up and going, hoop, hoop.
Oh God, gross.
Do you know, like
poor
I'm one of those people,
Windy.
which is a lot like, when you're trying not to throw up while you're picking up throw up, you're like, oh, God, this is so disgusting.
Okay, let's not talk about this. Oh,
so that's what happened to
poor
me last
Windy
night.
though. Yeah, energetically, animals can really pick up on stuff. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, I think we've. We really just wanted to talk about soul personality and really emphasize that whole difference between our human personality and our soul, and how it is different, but it can also have some similarities, and how that affects us in this life. So if you guys have any questions on this, feel free to like DM us or message us or, tag us in any posts that you have, and we'll be happy to like, I don't know, help you guys out if you guys have any like specific questions.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And I just want to remind you guys that we have our online, just a quick update. We have decided that we're not doing any more Zoom courses for the rest of the year, at least. So there's going to be no Zoom course for November or December. And our actual October one finishes this weekend. So by the time you guys hear this, it'll have already finished. But we still have our online courses. So we have our Udemy course, and we also have our Soul Tribe Academy course. They both are similar, I would say. They're very much about a straightforward method of learning the Akashic Records with we're basically teaching you what we've learned, and we've channeled our own manual and everything. The big difference, I would say, is the support you get. First of all, the Udemy course has its own platform, and there's a Q&A section there where you can contact us if you have questions. But also on our course, or our Soul Tribe Academy, there's more videos, first of all, so there's a lot more of us talking and sharing our experiences and giving you more advice. So it feels a little bit more like that Zoom course where we're talking to you. And then also, once you are part of that course, you can request to be added to our Soul Tribe Academy private Facebook group. So there we are trying to pick up activity there because we've been a little bit slow with our kind of like interacting with everybody. But it's basically super supportive group where you can just go and like post things, or if you've channeled something, or if you're having trouble, and we're all there to help each other and kind of psych each other up to help channel. And we put up at least once a week, we're trying to put up a question that we can all channel together.
And if you don't, we've done it like once a month, but the idea is to do it once a month. Yeah. So the question comes from the masters themselves. So it's a question that they think that we should be kind of interacting with each other and asking.
Yeah. And you don't have to share, but it could give you an idea for a question that you can try to channel through your Akashic Records. So we'll include those links on the show notes. And yeah, we're also doing like weekly Gaia recommendations. So make sure you check those out on our Instagram. To do that, follow us on Instagram. It's at soul_tribe_podcast. We also have a Facebook, that's Soul Tribe Podcast as well. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next week with another episode that's going to be quite interesting about soul versus spirit. I think that's coming out next week. I'm not sure because we have a few interviews we're doing, so I'm not sure if we're going to sprinkle those in or what we're going to do, but there's going to be another episode that's soul versus spirit, and it's a little bit different. Yeah, very different actually.
It's very different, but it's really good to understand this maybe before we got. That's why I wanted to put this first. It was really important to understand this before we got into that other.
Yeah, like the soul episode. And the spirit. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. That came up through a class that we did, so we're excited to channel all that for you guys. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week with a new episode. And we just want to say thank you for supporting us and for sharing all the episodes with your friends. And yeah, we love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.